Argylle was written and directed by Matthew Vaughn, a man whose filmography is very interesting if you look back on it. You've got hidden gems like Layer Cake, you've got big action blockbusters like X-Men First Class. He also gave you the first Kick-Ass movie, which is admittedly a guilty pleasure. That one's a lot of fun. And he, of course, created the Kingsman movies, which honestly are just... like, the first Kingsman movie especially, that's just a damn good spy movie. And here we have another one. This is an original spy idea from the warped mind of Matthew Vaughn, and this has got a fucking stacked cast. Like, you have stars out the wazoo in this thing. I'm pretty sure a good chunk of this $200 million budget went towards paying these big names. But we'll get to that in a minute. What's our premise? Reclusive author Ellie Conway, played by Bryce Dallas Howard, writes best-selling espionage novels, which follow a secret agent named Argylle, played here by Henry Cavill, who's on a mission to unravel a global spy syndicate. But when the plots of her books start to mirror the covert actions of a real-life spy organization, the line between fiction and reality begin to blur. Which honestly, I think is a really neat idea on the surface level. And I really respect what Matthew Vaughn is trying to say about writing and why certain authors get writer's block. Especially as you dig deeper into Bryce Dallas Howard's character and her background, it can be pretty inspiring for a lot of people. So I gotta give mad kudos to Argylle for at least having that in check. And also, like, I mean, the charm of this cast and the strength of this cast is just, like, it's undeniable. The standout, in my opinion, being Sam Rockwell, who is just one of the most likable, charismatic, and funny individuals that I think you would ever come across. And he just steals the show in every frame that he's in. Like, you just can't help but be enraptured by this performance. And I don't want to get too deep into what his character actually is or how it actually links up to Bryce Dallas Howard's life and the connection that they have. But I think there were a lot of things about his character that they put in there that were super endearing. Bryce Dallas Howard, for a lot of people, I think can be hit or miss. I personally wasn't the biggest fan of her in the Jurassic World movies. And I was very scared watching the first half of Argylle that she was starting to go down the Jurassic World path in terms of likability. I wasn't really getting behind this character much, if not at all. But then once certain things are revealed about this character, which I dare not give away in a spoiler-free video, like, she won me over, man. I thought she was really solid in this movie. I mean, everybody's really good. Bryan Cranston, one of my favorite actors of all time. Man, it just looks like he's having so much fun in every scene he's in. Catherine O'Hara, the mother from Home Alone and Schitt's Creek, appears in this thing, and she's really funny. Henry Cavill does his best impression of a classic James Bond in this, and he's really fun to watch as well. And I thought some of the editing techniques that they had to weave Agent Argylle as a character into real life, I thought it was really smart the way Matthew Vaughn went about directing those sequences. I mean, the list of A-list actors goes on in this thing. John Cena's in it for all of about 10 minutes, I think, and you're still not really able to see anything anytime he's on screen, but, you know, they say John Cena's in it. Samuel L. Jackson, what more can I say about him that hasn't already been said? The dude's a living legend, and he's great with the sequences that he's given in here as well. Previously, of course, working with Matthew Vaughn in the Kingsman movies. And I'm very sad to report that Dua Lipa's whole sequence in this is pretty much what you see in the trailer. That's about as deep as I'm gonna go with spoilers. And when talking about Argylle, you have to commend it for at least trying every outside-the-box idea and being at least creative, especially as it goes with how Matthew Vaughn directs these action sequences. There's a couple of phenomenal hand-to-hand sequences on a train. The train sequence is the one that comes to mind for me the most, and that one just, I mean, it was just, like, you gotta give mad props to Matthew Vaughn's stunt team in here, because the shots that they were taking and the bumps that they were taking, these look bone-cracking. I really hope these guys were taking care of themselves, but now I will admit, even with the charm of this cast and some solid creative choices and the great stunt work, Argylle, to me, I know there's a great movie in here somewhere. And to me, like, this is at most good. It's watchable. I may even show this to my girlfriend. I mean, I think she would really like this movie and have some fun with it, because I found the fun moments. But I know there's something phenomenal in here. And the script just wasn't really reflecting how great this movie could have been. This movie is 2 hours and 20 minutes long, and I gotta tell you, once you get to the halfway point and once more twists are being revealed and uncovered, like, I'll be honest, it got a little bit tedious. Because I shit you not, there are, like, at bare minimum, at least a dozen Shyamalan-level plot twists in this. And yeah, sure, I get it. You gotta put those in there for the shock factor and the big reversals that'll really trigger the audience and keep them on their toes. I gotta give props to this movie for at least keeping me guessing. But when you go to a movie like I did with my friend who I saw this with, and he was able to predict every single plot twist that came about, yeah, that's not really a good look there. So I'm sure, I feel like if you made this story way less complicated than it turned out to be, I feel like this could be a lot more enjoyable than it already is. Like, I'm telling you guys, I know there's a freaking fantastic movie in this, and I'm just a little bummed that I didn't see it. Also, I mentioned at the beginning of this review, the massive names that they got here is probably the reason why this movie cost $200 million. Because I guarantee you, there wasn't a whole lot of money that was put into the CGI. It looked dismal. Case in point number one, the green screen is just terrible. Henry Cavill, you can tell, is just standing in front of a studio and just effects are being thrown behind him. The explosions that come about Michael Bay style, it just looks so phony. And yes, let me address this cat. Alfie is the cat's name. I'm a cat lover. Don't get it twisted. I think cats are adorable. I love them. I want to own one for myself one day. And I understand, given what this cat does in this movie, I understand why this thing is CGI. But when these human characters are just carrying around a lifeless wad of absolutely nothing, and you can tell that it's just CGI being put in post, and when the cat is thrown all the way up into the sky in what's known as the crash pad sequence that you see in the trailer, like, you lost me. You absolutely lost me. This cat looks so fake. So even though I do have my fair share good to say about Argylle, like, this movie, given the caliber and the pedigree of the talent that you have involved in this project, this movie could have been way better than it was. I think if you limit the plot twists to maybe 2 or 3 instead of the dozen that we got, and maybe if you put a little bit more money and funds into actually making the CGI look incredible, then I think Argylle is one of the best movies of the year. As it sits, it's a movie that I know has a lot of potential and great people behind it, but the final products just did not reflect how great the movie could have been. I'm gonna give Argylle a C+. Also, before I forget and before I sign off, there is a mid-credit sequence. I don't know if I would even bother sticking around for it, because there's a reference in there that just made things so damn confusing. But let me know what you guys think of Argylle down in the comments. Who do you guys think Agent Argylle is if you haven't seen it already? Do not spoil it down in the comments. I swear to Jesus. And let me know also what your favorite Matthew Vaughn project is. I love discussing all new things in movies and entertainment here on the regular. If you're new, if you tapped into this channel for the first time, welcome. Feel free to join the community today. Tap that thumbs up button and become a subscriber today. Both of those things would be a humongous help. Stay tuned for more videos very soon, and you guys, trust me, you're not going to want to miss another upload in 2024. This is a great community of film lovers and entertainment lovers alike, and y'all are invited to join us. If you haven't already, please do so. Y'all are the best. And with all that being said, Back Talk, commence.